Not every boundary needs words. Sometimes silence is the loudest boundary you'll ever need. Hello, my beautiful kings and queens. Today I'll guide you on why silence is the strongest boundary and how to use it without guilt. If you've ever dealt with narcissists or constant drama, you can see why explaining yourself is draining you of your energy. And this is what we call an energy vampire, or sometimes a piece of shit. And we've all been there. Like sometimes it's just draining, just like it depends on the person that you're talking to, but in those instances, sometimes just explaining the smallest things can be draining AF. Like you are just like, do I really have to explain this right now? Like, it is just literally drains your soul. Now, when it comes to setting a boundary and silence being one of them, it's not something that you are purposely doing to hurt the other person. That's not what this is about at all. This is about conserving your own energy and keeping the peace for yourself. So that is going to be a boundary that you're going to have to implement. And that can be something as simple as just not engaging. You're not going to defend yourself. You're not there to argue. You're just not giving it your energy. You're just not going to do it. So sometimes it can be difficult because we're coming from a good place and we're like, how does this person not get it? How do you not understand that I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm not trying to offend anybody. And so you instinctively, you want to explain yourself, but you're not going to, because that's the other person. They know exactly what they're doing. Okay. They know what they're doing. They are getting off. They are energy vampires. They like to see you getting frustrated and trying to explain yourself to them when they know, they get it already, but they're taking their energy vampires. They're taking energy from you because you're frustrated. You're trying to explain yourself, and that's just what they want, and we're not doing it anymore. Again, this is not coming from a place of I want to get back at you. This is coming from a place of I'm just going to conserve my energy because you are literally you're purposely trying to piss me off. Like you want to put me in a place where I have to explain myself and defend, and we're not doing that anymore. This isn't a sign of weakness. This is a sign of you taking your power back and you putting more intention into the things that you actually do want in your life. You're not going to sit back and just be somebody else's punching bag so they can get off and they can suck all of your energy. Like, no, this isn't about that. Again, this isn't about weakness. This is about you being strong and holding your own boundary and taking that power back and putting it into things that you actually want in your life. Why this works is because toxic people feed off of your negative emotions, off of your negative reactions. They get off on that. They love to trigger you because really what it is they're just not happy themselves at the end of the day. They can try to put on a mask and front and fake like, oh, like everything's just fine in my world, but they're really not. They're unhappy with themselves, so they come to you to get a reaction out of you to take some of that energy because they're lacking it within themselves. When you go silent towards these people, this starves them manipulation, right? They can no longer come at you and try to get a reaction out of you. So now what's happening is now they have to sit with themselves. They have to sit with their own feelings, and they don't want to do that. So they're eventually going to just leave you alone. And unfortunately, it's kind of like twisted way, but it's also like a part of the cycle. They are not going to want to do that to you because they're going to have to look at themselves. So that's going to cut that off, which is great for you. However, unfortunately, what's going to happen is they are going to go do that to somebody else. But that's how the healing works. If we all are on our own journeys and we all decide we want to wake up and better ourselves and better our environments, then the same thing's just going to happen with them. And it's just going to go on. It's just going to keep going and going and going until maybe that person, hopefully, if in this lifetime, if it's for them to grow and evolve, then they will. And that's great. That's what we really want at the end of the day. But if not, then maybe it's going to be next lifetime or the lifetime after that. But that's not your journey and that's not your problem. Again, this isn't coming out of a like narcissistic way, like, you know, fuck them, it's all about me. Like, no, like we all just have our own journeys, and your journey is not to be somebody else's punching bag at the end of the day. Your journey is to step into your power, to step into who you truly are, and to evolve. Their journey is their journey, but they can no longer continue to feed off of your reactions. And when you decide to go silent, what it does is it shifts control. They're no longer able to run the show anymore. They're no longer able to disrupt your peace. So therefore, they're going to have to just leave you alone. And that's the ultimate goal. What happens after that, which, you know, I just spoke about, but that honestly is not a part of your journey. That's not your problem. Not coming out of a F them type of way, but it's just not your problem. You have shifted that control to where they're no longer running the show. You get to have power back in your life, and now you get to move on within peace, which is what you want at the end of the day anyways. So this could look like maybe this person isn't in like your physical reality. So the way they could communicate through to you is through text messages. And so they're just sending all of this, oh, you done this to me, blah, 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 blah. Even that can just be, that can be draining as well. So what you're going to want to start doing is maybe you decide, okay, I'm just going to give you one word answers so I can stop giving you so much to feed off of. But they'll find something out of that. And it's just like, if you simply just say no, what? No, you don't want to. And it's just like, okay, that shit gets so irritating that eventually you're just going to be like, okay, that's it. Cut off, done. And now they have nothing to go off of. They cannot focus on you. They have to focus on themselves. Or if they just want to ignore that and just live in this Delulu type of world, and I say Delulu because when it comes to us spiritual people and wanting to evolve, you do have to step into that energy, but this is not the good kind. So if they want to just live in like, oh, I'm in this narcissistic world, if I'm just perfect, it's everybody else around me that's the problem, then again, not your problem. That's their journey. They're going to have to go through with that, but they're going to have to go on through life like that. But you are no longer going to give into that. You're done. Any type of communication, that's it. Eventually, also, you're just going to start walking away. If they are in your physical presence and you could just feel it, and you're just like, you just get to a point to where you're just like, enough is enough. So you're just going to start walking away. Just like, okay, you know what? No, you just don't have words for this. And you're just going to simply walk away. You're not even going to want to raise your voice anymore because you see through the manipulation. It's like, once that veil has finally been lifted, you're like, how in the hell did I not see this shit before? Like, but it's because it was supposed to happen that way. You know, we can get frustrated with ourselves sometimes. We're like, you mean to tell me that all of this bullshit has been going on the entire time? You've been stressing the hell out of me, pulling on my energy. And now that I've woken up, it's just like, again, you're just like, how the fuck did I not see this? But you weren't supposed to see it. It's supposed to happen for you this way because everything just works out for you. You are supposed to go through that so you can look back and reflect on it and evolve and grow. And when you choose not to engage in gossip or passive aggressiveness, that's not a sign of weakness. Again, it's a sign that you're strong. You're getting stronger. You're just not going to give your energy to that. Because that's all it is at the end of the day. It's like, am I going to give my energy to that? There are so many things that you could be doing with yourself, with your life. What do you want to do with your life? Like, who do you want to be? Instead of going back and forth with these petty little arguments and petty gossip and oh, girl, tell me why. Oh, yeah. Like, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. I have too many other things going on, and you have too many other things that are going to be going on or that you want to create. Like, we are creators. You came here to create a life that you want, because doing that, like that's so high school, and that as you get older and you become an adult, you're like, that shit is draining as hell, and that shit is old. Like, who still does that? You're not going to want to do it anymore. It's not avoidance, it's self-protection. Many times, a lot of us feel like we owe somebody an explanation. Why did that sound weird coming out? I don't know. But anyway, sometimes we feel like we owe people our explanation, and we don't. We don't have to. But that is a form of guilt. And we feel like we feel, well, because we don't do it, it's a form of guilt. And that's just something that compounds over time. Like, the more and more you do it and you start realizing you're taking your energy back and you want to self protect, the less and less you start feeling guilty. You don't owe somebody clarity who thrives on confusing you. This is a healing mindset. Silence is self-love, not a punishment, not to you, not to the other person. Self-love. So what you can start doing to practice this is, instead of, if you don't just want to go cold turkey, because that's kind of hard, because it's like, then if you just go cold turkey, if you can do that, you may see that you're going to go back slowly into your old ways. So slowly trying to do this is just like, when you're dealing with these type of people, slow down your response. Take a second to think. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Instead of just being like, okay, let me hurry up and let me just rush, because that's what they want you to do. Instead of just rushing, just take a second and think of what your response is going to be. It's going to give you time to think of your response, and then also is going to give them that time to sit there and think about how ridiculous they're acting, and they're going to start internalizing, like, wow, like, this person's starting to see what I'm doing. This is getting pretty damn obvious, and they're going to start feeling stupid, and they're going to reel it back. Another practical step you can do is, say you're texting somebody, instead of getting in this back and forth texting war, you can just journal. And then when you see it in black and white, you can see the ridiculousness in it. You can see how that other person is trying to manipulate you. And you're just like, wow, like, you're looking at it and you're just like, are you serious? Like, and then think of your higher self. Think of somebody else who you admire, who you know doesn't take anybody's bullshit. And you're like, okay, would this person, or would my higher self be in this type of situation? What would they do? How would they respond? How would they act? And then you're going to be like, you know what? Yep. No, I'm not going to take this on anymore. Use this silence as a filter and ask yourself, does this deserve my energy or my silence? That's it. And also take the small wins. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not just going to all of a sudden just start acting perfectly. You are going to make mistakes. You will go back and forth with something that you really don't have, you really don't deserve to do. But that's okay. When those things happen, take grace on yourself. Show yourself that self-love. Like, you're trying and you're growing. It's not going to be perfect right off the bat. So just taking those slow steps, that's going to start building that confidence. Silence isn't empty. It's full of power. It tells the world you value your peace more than you value their chaos. So if you are looking for a deeper value, and if you would like more guidance in this topic, I have helpful links in the description for you. I'm here every day for your healing journey. And until next time, I love you, and the universe loves you.